Welcome to Vlogmas, everybody. It's been a minute since we talked last, but it is that time of year where I transition from a traditional mess into a Christmas, and I'm so excited to share it with you this year. This is the lineup of my gigs. I've got some vending, some performing, some where I do both. Very, very excited to share it all with you. I started off my season by giving into the intrusive thoughts and coloring my hair for the season. I try to resist this every year. Some years I'm more successful than others, but we're going on 2 years in a row now where I have changed my normal fire hair color to red and green hair. Oops. Not sure what I'm going to do after the season, but we'll figure that out. That's later me's problem. I started out as well by pulling out all of my costumes out of the closet and getting things assembled. For my run, I, live alone, so I'm able to just set up a clothing rack in my living room and just have my costumes and things I need for the season out. I had to make a run to the hardware store because I could not find my hardware for my clothing rack, but I finally got it assembled after a quick trip over there to get some nuts and bolts. And so you can see all of the clothing that will hang. I also have clothing that doesn't hang, like the bras and the underpants and different accessories and things. I keep those in those totes nearby. Getting on 3 totes now, so the collection is growing every year. I always end up developing new acts, although this year I did not. And speaking of that, you can see here I start my season by sitting down and writing out my shows as well as my current acts in rotation and deciding what I'm going to perform where. And this year's a little different because my run started a week early. It started before Black Friday at this TC Cabaret show. That's the troupe that I'm a part of. And they did this fabulous Nightmare Before Christmas show where we got to do a combination of, it alternated between like holiday acts and Halloween acts. A really fun mashup of things to see. Made for a very interesting dressing room. So I was getting my face on. I'm really a big fan of getting ready as much as I can at home. Got my costumes packed as well as my kind of traveling to shows outfits. I usually pick up something fun to wear that's cozy and comfortable to wear between traveling to shows. And this year I got 2 really cute sweatsuits. This is one of them. The other one is green and you'll see it later in the vlog. So I'm all packed, all dressed and ready to rock and roll and head out to the gay 90s. Getting all parked and transporting myself across the street from the parking ramp to the venue. And real ones know where I'm parked. Over to the gay 90s. This place is an institution. It has been there forever. And it has one of the most beautiful stages, just hands down. They have this beautiful, like, acrylic, sparkly stage. And they really are doing it up for Christmas every year. And this year it was no different. If anything, it was bigger and better than I've ever seen it. This little nook, when I vend at the gay 90s, I end up vending in that space. And so I joke that that's my emotional support Christmas tree. This was our set list for the evening. It was a troupe show. So it was all troupe members of the TC Cabaret troupe. And here I am getting some last minute rehearsal in. I like to try to listen to my music. If I can possibly go and like pantomime it somewhere, just kind of walk it. Make sure things are fresh in my head before I get on stage for the night. Show got started strong with some Christmas from one of my castmates here, Bella Beefcake. And it continued on with all sorts of fun Christmas, Halloween alterations. It was a blast. I grabbed all these little clips so you can enjoy them. Pretty soon it was time for me to get dressed and get ready to get on stage. I loved this little moment I caught. I realized that these are both Tim Burton characters helping each other. And it was just so sweet. Mona Montague as Sally helping Edward Scissorhands with their costume. This is our troop leader, Ostara Rain. hosting the show for us. One of my longtime burlesque friends, Opium Hayes, doing their best Halloween act. I love that our troupe includes both drag and burlesque. I'd like to see more of that happening in our scene, and I like to think we're helping build that bridge. And then there's me. I did my Christmas is a Feeling in Your Heart act. It's got a strategically placed beep that changes the whole tone of the act. And then our closer was our out-of-town guest, Cater Tot, doing their Edward Scissorhands act. It was amazing, silly, fun, just, I love Nerdlesque so much. It's just the best. It's the combination of the things I love the most, and nothing beats it, you know? And here's our wonderful cast. It was an absolutely fabulous show. The next day, I found some time to transition my wardrobe from Halloween into Christmas. And so I got my Christmas stuff out from under the bed and tucked away my Halloween stuff until next year. So my next show was on Black Friday, and it was a non-Christmas show, but it was too good of a show to resist applying to, and I was so grateful to have got cast. I developed a brand new act for it, and I did an Idiocracy act. The whole show was about dystopian stories from movies, books, TV, and so I decided to do Idiocracy, and I did a Carl's Jr. themed act. So the whole act was sponsored by Carl's Jr. If you know, you know. You've got to have seen the movie. It's a great watch. It kind of ended up being my new act for the season instead of a new holiday act. Here you can see me arriving at the venue here. We are doing some tech rehearsal there. We've got our merch set up. I've got my brand on the end there. There's a lot of different performer swag. It was a really nice little setup. Real good turnout for the show. It opened strong with one of my most favorite people in the whole world. My most favorite performer, definitely. That is Red Rum. They specialize in all sorts of spooky, scary type of burlesque. The show was just amazing. It had all sorts of different kind of moods and tones. There were some funny things, some serious things, some sexy things. Just lots of different genres and stories were covered. Pretty soon it was time for me to scurry on backstage and get myself into costume and get ready to perform. I was really happy with the debut of this act. It came out really good. It was very safely in my wheelhouse of kind of that flirty, sexy, funny kind of a thing that I tend to do. I think that's where I really shine in my creative process, is when I just don't take things too seriously. I think it's the true kind of heart of burlesque, is that kind of parody. I love that at this venue, from backstage, there's these little like kind of slats in the wall where you can kind of see through, so I was able to get these cool from behind the stage shots of a couple of the acts. is our beautiful cast of the show. It was just a blast. The next day, I got the chance to be a model for the day. One of my castmates on the TC Cabaret troupe, a local drag queen named Lala Luscious, has a wonderful cosmetic line. They make so far lip products. I use their liquid lipstick all the time, and they were shooting the campaign for their brand new lip gloss. And I got to be the model for this gorgeous red, and I just love it. It pairs so well with the red liquid lip color that I wear on a normal basis. And it was super fun to be able to kind of live out my cosmetic model fantasies. I used to work in cosmetics as a makeup artist. I worked for Ulta for years. I worked in salons and spas. I was a bridal artist. It was really fun to get to model makeup instead of put makeup on models. But I also did my makeup for the shoot as well. And then I ended up with some really beautiful images. There's some images that are more specific to the campaign. And then I got some kind of like solo kind of portraits for myself, which was really fun. And it was great to be able to get to document having my Christmas hair, because it happens so briefly every year that sometimes I don't end up with a lot of photographic evidence that it happens. So it was really nice to get some portraits that include my red and green hair. And everybody was so fun to work with, and I really love the lip gloss. The best part came when the reveal of the name came, and I found that my shade was named after me, and I was so excited. During this time, I also had a school order to fulfill for the Rose Academy of Burlesque. I make all the pasties for their group acts, so I was working on that, as well as do a little Dazzle Ties business here. My one and only Black Friday purchase was rhinestones from my favorite rhinestone shop on Etsy called Blingy Thingy. And you can see here, I partake in her Black Friday sales every year. It usually stocks me up for most of the year, aside from a few shades that I just use so much of that I run out of them. So I was able to stock up on everything I needed. Her sale every year is definitely the best time of year for me to stock up. You can see all the goodies I got. I was very happy with my rhinestone haul. I will make lots of beautiful sparkly things with all those, including these beautiful poinsettias. I was able to crank out a few new products for my vending for the season. And then I was off on December 4th to the Rose Academy's Thorns and Roses show. It's a little smaller version of their student showcases. You can see my green jumpsuit there. Got all set up to vend at the event and see what the students were up to. Here was our lineup for the show. Includes students, groups, soloists, some of the teachers. This is one of the faculty, that's Lucy V. Luscious. And then some students. This guy was doing a sky dancer act. Do you remember those sky dancers, the toy that like you pulled the little string and it like flew off the little stand? She was reenacting that viral meme of the one that flew into the fireplace. I love burlesque. We will make burlesque out of anything. What do you mean you made a sky dancer burlesque act? Like, what? Amazing. And like being in the presence of this wedding dress, like why did we ever stop wearing wedding dresses like this? This wedding dress was so beautiful, like fluffy and big and bad. I just love it. This is actually the headmistress of the Rose Academy of Burlesque. That is Diva Rose, and I owe, God, my life to this woman. Like, she is my everything. I can never say enough thank yous to Diva Rose for starting Rose Academy and giving my business such a boost and being such a big part of my story. Here was the beautiful group that I was making the pasties for. I had a little bit of an oopsie with how I was reading the spreadsheet, and I messed up and didn't get everybody what they wanted exactly, but in the end, between what I had made and the stock that I keep in my brand, we were able to make sure everybody had pasties for the performance. But I am looping back to make things right with everybody to give them exactly what they asked for. Here is Petty Treason. She kind of co-runs the school along with Diva Rose. She was doing a cute little showgirl number. I love that color combination. It just is like very like 90s themed to me. Like she looks like a Barbie. I just love it. And of course, like every Christmas show needs a sexy Santa act. So we got one of those. And I gotta give a special shout out to this performer. She literally got off of an airplane, drove to the venue, and got on stage. Like she wanted to be in the show. She got pulled away and she was like, I'm still gonna do it. And she literally got off an airplane, came and got dressed and got on stage. Like, what a rock star. And this is our beautiful cast for the night. And that is the first part of Vlogmas. Stay tuned for a couple more parts. I will see you soon.